Hey guys, I'm back outside for another video because I'm trying to make the most of it. British weather is a little bit unpredictable and we never know when we're going to start getting wind and rain, but you guys seem to like the outdoor videos and I do too, so we're back today with another one. And today's video is an interesting one. I think it will open a lot of commentary, I hope anyway. I'm basically going to discuss 16 things that Tesla are either already working on or could possibly do. I don't know if they've even considered it, probably have. They could possibly do in the future that could potentially make them extra revenue. Now, some of these are maybe a little bit outside the box. Some of them maybe Tesla will never do because of X, Y, and Z. But I don't know. Let me know as we go through these if you think of any more, and if you think any of these are maybe not possible or are possible. And like I said, some of these are going to be quite obvious ones, some of them not so obvious. Number one is probably the most obvious one on this list, a method that Tesla are already using and will continue to use to make extra revenue. And that is new models, whether these are planned or not currently. Now, of course, we do know about some updates and some new models that Tesla are meant to be releasing in the near or mid-term future. For example, the updated Roadster. The original Roadster was released a long time ago. It was Tesla's first vehicle. I've spoken about this in a recent video, how that sports car was their way to actually accumulate money to then roll that money back into making more affordable vehicles and so on. It was all in their master plan. But we know that they're getting an updated Roadster model at some point relatively soon. Now, will this model be able to fly? Will it be super duper fast? I don't know. All these things are very interesting to think about. Also, an updated Model Y. I think the code name for this one is Juniper, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But also on top of this, we do anticipate, and we'll find out more, I'm sure, on the 10th of the 10th, that we will have a mass affordable vehicle, whether that will be a $20,000 car, a 25, a 30. I don't know the exact price tag. I don't know exactly what it will look like. I imagine it will be on the robo-taxi platform, but a mass affordable vehicle in the future could possibly generate Tesla a lot of extra revenue. Then we've got a van or some sort of bigger vehicle that could seat between 8 to 10 people. Again, people think that this may actually be shown to us on the 10th of the 10th, the robo-taxi day. We're going to have to wait and see. And then I was thinking as well, and I think Elon's actually said this in an interview, although I can't be certain, a Cybertruck. Obviously the Cybertruck's already out, but Cybertrucks that are adjusted specifically for different regions. So the Cybertruck in the US right now probably wouldn't work very well in the UK market. So they'll have to make slight adjustments probably before they can actually have that vehicle over here. And you know, they could do that for different markets, different countries around the world. And this was all laid out in 2016 in Master Plan number 2. This whole idea that they wanted to have new EVs that would target different areas of the market, different market segments. And I think there are still gaps in the market that Tesla could definitely address. For example, a family car, a bigger family car that people, and Elon's really passionate about, you know, the reproduction rate and people having big families. And actually Tesla right now probably don't have a big enough vehicle for this, and they could have that in the future. The next one is insurance, Tesla insurance. Now this is something that actually Tesla already do, Tesla already offer, but most people don't actually know about this. It's not really that well known. And actually insuring a Tesla vehicle with Tesla insurance would be a way cheaper option than going anywhere else. And why is this? Well, it's because Tesla are aware of how safe their vehicles are. They've been collecting data for a very long time. They have all the data there to tell them that their vehicles are X amount safer than different vehicles, and because of that they will be able to offer cheaper premiums. And then on top of this, we've got to factor in full self-driving technology. With full self-driving within Tesla vehicles, this makes them without a doubt way safer. The data, like I said, the safety data is already there to show that there is a lot less risk of an FSD driven vehicle than a human driven vehicle. Tesla, you know, a human driven Tesla vehicle versus a Tesla running FSD. The FSD version is safer. But then if you use a human-driven Tesla compared to a different car that doesn't have FSD either, and it's a human-driven vehicle, the Tesla is safer. You know, it doesn't just come down to the technology in terms of FSD, it's the technology of the whole car, what they use to make the car itself and all this stuff. So this just means that they can show that there's lower risk. So like I said, because of this, they can then They can therefore lower the insurance premium. And another reason why I think this could do really, really well is because acquiring Tesla insurance and actually claiming on it, should you need to, would actually be way more convenient. They will make sure it is way more convenient for customers, so that customers will rank it highly and more customers in the future will want it as well. So for number 3, let's continue thinking about FSD. Now again, this is already spoken about quite widely and we all assume that this is going to happen, Elon himself as well, but it hasn't happened yet as far as we're aware. And this is FSD licensing. So other companies going to Tesla and actually asking them to pay them a certain amount of money to license their FSD technology to put within their EVs. Now, as the world moves towards autonomous driving, those companies that don't acquire this ability, whether they do that on their own, which another video whether they could or not compared to Tesla, or they acquire it from a company like Tesla probably being the only one that they've actually got the option of acquiring it from, licensing it I should say, they are going to probably license the FSD technology from Tesla. Now you've got to think as well, this stuff has SaaS margins, you know, software as a service margins, high profit margins. This could actually just print money for Tesla. And I imagine at some point, you know, in the mid-future, we will hear who the first company is to license FSD. People think Ford. Let me know if you agree or don't agree with that in the comments below. But you know, this won't happen overnight. Although this will be massive when it does happen on a bigger scale, you have to appreciate that in order for these other vehicles, these other EVs to actually license FSD and put the FSD technology software within their EVs, they have to have the hardware in place, the cameras, the right stuff in place to actually do that. It's not just a simple boom and go. Now before we get on to number 5, which is one that is a little bit more rogue and maybe some people haven't actually thought about, I just want to cover another kind of obvious one, but I want to just take a little twist on this one. So number 4 is robotaxi. Now I'm not going to spend ages thinking and talking about this one because I've made countless videos on what this could actually mean for Tesla, and I think it's going to be a massive driver of value and of stock price appreciation for Tesla in probably in the mid to long future, especially the long future. And you know, it's not just the obvious ways that they're going to make revenue, they're going to make money in terms of people being able to add their Tesla to the fleet, and actually Tesla will take a portion of that money as profit for them, and then the customer will be able to make money as well. There's that option. There's also the option of Tesla actually owning the fleet themselves, and then you know, they will keep the money from the journeys. And again, I've dug into this a lot more in other videos. So we have to appreciate that first and foremost, and that is a high margin business. This is really, really good in terms of profit margins for Tesla. But they could also potentially leverage advertising and advertising revenue through the robotaxi fleet. So what I'm thinking is that Tesla could actually generate revenue by businesses, whether these are, you know, restaurants, services, whatever, actually paying Tesla for Tesla to recommend the robotaxi, to recommend that service to the person in the vehicle. So for example, if we've got a local restaurant paying Tesla, what we could see is that whenever someone goes past that location, that restaurant, you know, something pops up within the robotaxi saying, do you want to stop off here to grab yourself a burger? Or if the customer is looking for a restaurant recommendation nearby, that is automatically the one that is at the top of the recommendation. So now let's get on to a little bit of a rogue one. So number 5 is that Tesla one day has a real estate business. Now hear me out, let me explain. Now I don't know if many people know this, but right now Tesla is actually currently in the process of building this really, really big supercharging location in Santa Monica. Now this location is not just a normal supercharger location. It's not just an outside set of stalls where people can go and charge their EVs, their Teslas. It's not just that. They are basically building this circular building. It looks really, really cool. I'll try and put a picture in now if I remember. And this is going to be a 24/7 dine-in and theatre experience, along with these superchargers that are going to be available, and there's going to be many of them. Now, if this goes well, they could potentially roll out more and more of these locations in the future. Number 1, this is going to be a way nicer experience for people, for customers to actually enjoy whilst they wait for their vehicles, their EVs, to actually reach full charge. That's great. But also there's going to be, it's very, very clear that there's going to be this dine-in element, or like grab and go, whatever. There's going to be a diner. I think it's a diner. Maybe I should have said that rather than dine-in. Anyway, so 2 options here. If there's going to be a diner in these locations, then either one, Tesla get into the food business, which seems a little bit crazy, and I don't really think they will, or they actually lease this out to another company. Here's where it gets interesting. Again, if this goes well, they could do this on a bigger scale. They could buy land that they put their superchargers at, and they could then lease that land to businesses that want to sell their food. So basically, they could lease these out to other people to run. But they're pretty much at that point running a real estate business because they're the ones that own the land, kind of like what McDonald's do. So carrying on the supercharger theme, number 6 is just the supercharging network. And we've already seen that pretty much all large automotive makers are, transitioning to the North American charging standard, the Tesla North American charging standard, and this is giving them access to the Tesla supercharging network. And they are obviously going to financially benefit from this, but the important thing is that they are not stopping. They are not slowing down, they are continuing to expand the network. And then we've got this idea that not only can they give other companies access to the superchargers, but they can also actually sell the hardware themselves, the physical superchargers themselves. And we've already seen this happen. There's already been a couple of deals. We've had a big one with BP take place, whereby BP purchased a load of Tesla superchargers and then they'll rebrand them, whatever, that's fine. And there was another one with a company called Eich Group, which I believe is the parent company of Asda, which if you're from the UK, you'll know exactly what Asda is. But the point is, this is another revenue stream that not many people actually know is happening. And yes, it's very, very small compared to other things that they're working on. But hey, all these things add up, and being so diversified across many different revenue streams is powerful. And another thing that we've already seen to start to take place, but I think this is going to get even bigger in the future, is that actually businesses, companies will want to have Tesla superchargers at their location because this is a better experience for people with EVs. And as the EV market grows and as EVs get more and more adopted as time goes on, companies will need to offer supercharging capabilities at their locations in order to attract and retain these customers to their premises. And if they are going to do that, they are probably going to go to Tesla for this. Number 7 is in-house computer chip manufacturing. Tesla designs its own AI chips specifically for neural network processing, which is really important for FSD and for Optimus. Now, Tesla could potentially offer its Dojo supercomputer as a service for AI training. Now, this would kind of be similar to AWS or Google Cloud, but this would very much adopt a high margin SaaS model. Customers could be charged based on usage, so for example the amount of compute power that they've used or the time that they've spent training their models. Now, this isn't a revolutionary idea by me at all. I think Elon's spoken about this before, this whole idea that Tesla car owners with hardware 4 could actually potentially rent out their vehicles compute power, I should say, in the future. And this of course would be a new revenue stream not only for Tesla but also Tesla customers as well. Number 8 is semi-trucks and the trucking industry as a whole. The Tesla semi-truck production factory is located next to the Gigafactory in Nevada, and this factory is expected to produce 50,000 Tesla semi-trucks a year when it's at full scale production. And this is planned to begin at the end of 2025, so actually not that long away at all. Now, I've got some statistics written down here which I think are very interesting. So in 2022, the global trucking market was valued at $2.17 trillion. And this is expected to grow to $3.42 trillion by 2031. So this is a compound annual growth rate of 5.2% from 2024 to 2031. So we're expecting some pretty significant growth here. So if Tesla could even capture 10% of that growing market, that is a pretty big deal. Then we feed in the possibility of FSD, these semi-trucks driving themselves. And now what I'm thinking is these businesses that require vehicles like semi-trucks, these category 8 vehicles, I think it's category 8, I might be wrong on that. But anyway, these big vehicles, companies that need these are going to be companies that are wanting to save a lot of money. And if they don't have to pay drivers because these trucks are driving themselves, then they could save money on that. And also thinking about money saving and why, they might want Tesla semi-trucks rather than, ICE trucks or whatever else. I think actually the statistics are something like EVs save 23% fuel, they have a 23% fuel cost reduction. Again, that exact figure may not be right, but the point is it's cheaper for big businesses to use Tesla semi-trucks rather than other ICE vehicles. That's a big deal, and these companies are going to want that. And you know, Tesla have already got some really, really big customers for the semi-trucks. We're looking at Pepsi, we're looking at Costco, and we're looking at Walmart. Number 9 is robots. So obviously when I'm speaking about Tesla robots, I'm speaking specifically about Optimus. Now, again, I've spoken about Optimus at length, and I'll continue to do so in the future. It's one of the big future drivers for me holding Tesla stock, but I'll leave a video linked on screen if you do want to dive in deeper with me on that one. But you know, Tesla could sell these eventually to companies, to people. I think they'll go down a leasing model at first because it gives them more control. And the whole idea of Optimus from an investor point of view is the market is absolutely ginormous. It's not, you can't even comprehend it in your mind. And this could lead, if they do it right, to ginormous, and that's not even the right word, big profits. There are so many applications for humanoid robots that it kind of gets insane when you start doing pen on paper maths, just quick maths about the possibilities of this. But you could think about this a little bit deeper. You could come up with this whole idea that Tesla will one day have like an app store where someone that has a bot in their home could go on and they could pay a monthly fee to actually have that bot gain certain capabilities. Like, I don't know, I want it to be able to cook a certain meal. Okay, well, I'll go on, I'll pay $2 a month, and my bot will then have over-the-air updates so it can do that. Maybe cooking certain meals is a little bit silly of me to say, but you know, there'll be certain capabilities maybe that you would actually pay a monthly subscription for, and that's recurring revenue. You know, even if they just, it's a one-time purchase, these are all additional revenue streams for the Optimus bot once it's up and running, and we're not there yet, of course. Number 10 is Tesla's lithium refinery. Tesla have already broken ground on this, and they are getting into actually refining their own lithium. Now, of course, lithium is a raw material needed to actually produce the batteries, which then go into their EVs. Very, very important, and they've always wanted to be vertically integrated. They don't like relying on other companies, because if the supply chain goes down or another company starts charging more, they're kind of at the mercy of those other companies. If they can control it in-house, not only can they control the costs, the supply, they can also control the quality. But that's not what I'm thinking here. You know, vertical integration is fantastic. What I'm thinking is that in the future, once they've got enough for themselves, they could potentially actually sell that lithium to other companies. You know, this could be companies in the EV or energy storage and energy generation space. Number 11 is energy storage capabilities on both a small scale and a large scale. In the whole of 2023, Tesla's revenue from energy alone was $6.035 billion. Now, so far this year, so just in Q1 and Q2, energy has made $4.649 billion. So Tesla Energy, in just 2 quarters of this year so far, with 2 quarters still left to go, have made that much. So this makes you think, what does the revenue from this segment look like in years and years to come? Because this is still very much a business segment in its infancy. It's still very much growing, and the chart is already starting to form a parabolic curve. You know, the growth is really, really accelerating in the energy segment. Number 12, again, is a little bit of a rogue one, and that is a utility company. Tesla's current strategy, I would say, is really, really focused on actually encouraging people to have energy independence. And they do this through some of their products like solar panels, solar roofs, and the Powerwall as well. And then you've obviously got the Mega Pack, which is more for commercial use rather than individual use. But Tesla want individuals and businesses to actually be able to generate, store, and manage their own renewable energy. It's all about energy independence, like I just said. Sorry if you can hear some screaming, by the way, I am literally in a park. But it could be possible that actually one day Tesla have a segment of their business that is run like a utility company. They become a utility company, because this would mean that they could actually offer end-to-end energy solutions. Now, they could also collaborate with existing utility companies or energy providers to help them expand their market presence in this market, where without actually having to start their own utility company. That's also a possibility, but let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Number 13 is selling batteries. Tesla could enter the business of supplying batteries to other companies. I guess the main companies that they would look to supply batteries to are probably other automotive companies that actually want to start expanding on their EV range. But of course, batteries aren't just used for EVs. There are many applications. So potentially in the future, you know, once they're more set on their own supply and demand issues, They could even make revenue through leasing or selling batteries. And we're already seeing that they're getting more and more self-reliant. You know, this whole idea of vertical integration, we spoke about it just a minute ago with the lithium refinery, but we're also seeing that they're actually producing their own batteries now. Although they're still working with other companies, they are looking to take more and more of this in-house. Number 14 is a smart AI-powered home system. They could have a home ecosystem that ties in with all the other products within Tesla's ecosystem that basically could look to optimize energy use. It could regulate the heating in a household. It could look to do lighting adjustments. It could have access to security controls. You know, the list goes on. Basically a one-stop fit for all your home adjustment requirement needs. Number 15 is Auto Bidder, which is actually a highly unknown technology piece in Tesla's arsenal. Many people don't know about this, many people have never heard about it, but it already exists. Auto Bidder is basically a piece of software that Tesla has developed that allows you to automatically manage and sell battery power to maximize your revenue. It uses real-time data and basically it buys energy when the price is low and it sells that energy when the price is high, returning you revenue, and that all depends on your business goals and your risk tolerance as well. Right now, Auto Bidder is mainly used in conjunction with Tesla products like the Powerwall and the Megapacks, and I think it's also used when Tesla goes into partnerships with these energy storage projects that it sometimes carries out with, you know, other partners. So it's not available for licensing right now. Licensing from other companies that aren't working with Tesla, and not available for licensing from individuals either. But it could potentially be in the future. It's an interesting business model to think about because, again, I imagine this will have SaaS margins. And to round our list off, number 16 actually comes from a comment that I saw on X, and I thought it was a really, really interesting idea. So I'm going to read what this comment says. So how about we create a Tesla Plus subscription package similar to Apple Plus or Amazon Prime or Costco? It could include connectivity, charging, FSD and insurance, all for a price that would encourage a 90% take rate. This could transform Tesla into a software as a service business with a steady stream of monthly revenue. Now that version 12 is being rolled out to customers, it's the perfect time to consider this idea. And this is a really, really interesting idea. Someone paying a monthly subscription and actually getting access to all these different pieces of technology and these different pieces of these different services that Tesla offer could do really, really well. I don't know if now's the right time or maybe wait until FSD is further forward. I don't know, but it's definitely an interesting one to think about. Now, if you want to carry on this conversation and you want to speak to a community of like-minded people every day, come and join the Patreon. With that, you'll get access to Discord. Like I said, there's always conversation happening on there. You'll also get a weekly portfolio update from me. You can come and ask any questions, and I will let you know every single time I buy or sell any position. With that said, I encourage any more conversation, any more thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.